Joe Johnson, the senior. See that heavily wrapped shoulder from Johnson. He had an injury default last week against Indiana. Johnson 5-4 on the season in open tournaments. Placed 6th to Cleveland State Open. Two-time academic All Big Ten.
And he's taking on Anthony Petrone.
Petrone made his collegiate debut on January 10th versus Iowa. Compiled a very impressive 248-39 in high school.
So no free time, strictly wrestling.
Petrone 0-3 on the season. A freshman from Orlando, Florida, Lake Highland High School. Joe Johnson 7-13 on the season from South Lyon, Michigan. South Lyon High School. Petrone, quick shot, but Johnson stops it, gets that front headlock.
Curious to see if this left shoulder of Joe Johnson, or excuse me, right shoulder of Joe Johnson comes into play. As you mentioned, very heavily wrapped and did have to injury default
last week against Jake Danishek from Indiana. It's one thing you love watching with Joe Johnson. He never stops fighting. He's always thinking about competing for his team. See, quick on that restart, first man back to the center. One thing Coach Tom Minkle preaches in his program.
Joe Johnson in deep, head on the inside, comes up through the middle, and a great job of finishing with urgency. That's not something you see a lot from these Spartans. Joe Johnson got into his shot, picked his shot, knew exactly what he had to do to finish it, and finished quick.
Johnson with that arm across the back.
So now we'll see if the Northwestern coaches are screaming, stalling on the bottom man. Same position that they were yelling stalling when their wrestler was in the favorable position.
You've got to think Joe Johnson wants to go out with a bang here. His last home match of his career.
Especially for Coach Tom Minkle. 25th season, final duel here at Jennison Fieldhouse on the big stage. Coach Minkle, one of the history makers in wrestling. Coach Minkle, interesting fact about Coach Minkle, he started the intermission, and we see how many teams in the country after 5 have that intermission. Coach Minkle in Michigan State was the first one to have the intermission break after 5 matches. So that's just another claim to
Johnson
fame.
looking for bonus points here.
So a possible fall for Joe Johnson. He needs to continue to run that back to the left side.
Referee holding 4 near fall there.
Same hold.
Johnson very strong for 157 pounds. He's going to get the 4-point near fall, take a 6-4 lead to the second period. And we said it before the match, these Spartans want to wrestle with emotion for Tom Minkle. Bring their head coach with a victory in his final match at home. And hopefully earn their first victory of the season. Northwestern with 1 win on the year, looking for their first Big Ten victory of the season.
So Joe Johnson immediately up to his feet. Gets the 1 point for the escape. So now we get the 1 point for the escape. A little premature on my part.
Johnson with that front headlock, underhook on the right side. Steps behind the right arm of Petrone.
This is a weird position for Joe Johnson. He kind of put himself here. So now looking for the Merkle.
He throws a half in.
And wow, potentially dangerous call. So no takedown awarded. So Joe Johnson set himself up there. Very interesting. He knew exactly what he was doing.
It's a very unique position, and Johnson ducks the right arm. Petrone goes to a high crotch, sits him to his butt. Now he's looking to score here. Johnson needs to shelf that left leg of Petrone up. He ducks it. And this is where he scored here in the first period. He's got to pick a side and turn into it. And a 2-point takedown for Johnson.
So Johnson needs to open this matchup. He just needs to continue to stay after it here.
And this is what you love about senior night. These wrestlers coming out, wrestling with emotion and showing that they want to leave Jennison Fieldhouse on a positive note.
So we have warning on the bottom man. So that's his first warning. So Petrone needs to get to work here. And if he's going to want to save a couple of team points.
A strange position. We saw Johnson put himself in earlier in this period.
And Joe Johnson right back to it. Very interesting. So he allows Petrone to grab that leg, hook it, and then he sits to a quarter Nelson.
A very unique position. And we have to think Johnson's looking for the tech fall that Serta's just picked up. So
that would be big if Johnson could match the tech fall.
A nice shot for Petrone. Johnson putting himself in that position once again. He's going to look for a three-quarter Nelson on the opposite side.
Curious to see how you even defend this. I've never seen this situation. And Joe Johnson kind of puts himself in danger there.
And this is what Northwestern wanted. A 2-point takedown makes this match 9-2. And the 2-point reversal, 11-2 now for Johnson, 12-2 with riding time.
So 1 minute remains here in the third period. Joe Johnson's last home duel as a Spartan, looking to finish strong with 50 seconds left. Northwestern leads this duel 12-3, so this would be a huge major decision for Joe Johnson to put some bonus points on the board.
Yeah, definitely coming back at the break. We have two underclassmen, both with losing records, so. And another stall call on Petrone. Now 4-point near fall here would give Johnson the tech fall with the riding time, and he's gonna get it. He's pulling it back. And so close.
So close to it.
And great job, Petrone, keeping himself there. And the crowd very excited that Johnson picks up a victory in his final home match as a Spartan.